right? Hamlin again.
Yeah, we're back. Burnt Rubber Racing has returned. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. It just means more work for whoever's producing this show after the fact. May or may not be me. I mean, you can if you want, Zach. But yeah, back to Denny Hamlin as we're finishing our Coca-Cola 600 recap here.
Okay, back to what I was saying before. Someone had to bring us technical difficulties for some reason, but
I'll blame me. Yep.
I mean, my volume bar was moving, so it's got to be something on your end there, Bub. But anyways, so I believe back to my point of points playing a factor. With the qualifying format that NASCAR has, Hamlin's going to be towards the front a lot of the weeks because he's first in the points. And usually when you're out front, you're going to get the fast laps because you have the clean air and whatnot. And that all that boils down, like all that will mesh together, and he'll be able to lead laps a lot. The last 2 weeks, he hasn't been able to do that because of qualifying, and so that's going to hurt him a little bit. So that probably plays a little bit into it. And then you added the fact that Hendrick is just over the moon right now. Buy stock in him if you can. It's just they're just over. No one's beating him right now.
Yeah, forget AMC. I'd quadruple my Hendrick stock at this point. The way those boys are running. I like your points on Hamlin. I think I agree with you. I hate the fact that we even have the bullshit qualifying formula still when we can qualify the last 2 weeks and now all of a sudden it's not safe again. Like, what the hell, NASCAR? But whatever.
Packers put out a tweet today saying that it's because teams don't want to take a backup car to the tracks because they don't want to build another car with the new Gen 7 coming out next year. It's all money saving stuff, which I understand.
Teams also want to practice, so like let's talk to Kyle Busch about that and whether he's a backup car there or no practice. Like, give me a break. Packers has got a mask on in his Twitter photo anyway, so I didn't say that. Anyone else stand out to you there in the top 10? I think for me it's definitely the RCR cars and Buescher, but anyone else you wanted to comment on, or one or both, multiple of them?
No, I was just gonna say Buescher. Like RFR, they are making some strides this year to try to get back into being one of the top 2 teams that they were. It's not a top 5, but when you have 400 guys that are running as well as they are, you're not beating them. You have little chance to be in the top 5.
Yeah, and I would say, just to finish on the Richard Childress, Austin Dillon there, and Tyler Reddick both nabbing top 10s. We're seeing the Hendrick Camaros be really fast, but these RCR Chevys are also throwing down solid runs. It seems like week in, week out. And we mentioned Daniel Suarez cutting down a tire back in stage 1. He's the RCR affiliate. He rallies to finish 15th. I thought their day could have been a lot worse. I had higher hopes for him coming into this race, not going to lie. But still, to salvage 15th there with some of the challenges they had to overcome, first-year team, that's impressive stuff. I still think Reddick is the best bet of the 3. Talking Dylan and Suarez to find victory lane. I'm fully on board with you there. I know he's your boy, but I got to hop on with that one. I think he's going to win a race. I just don't know when it's going to happen. But one of these guys is going to win. And right now, Dylan and Reddick both are into the playoffs on points. So if we keep getting more repeat Hendrick winners, RCR will be just fine when it all shakes out. Other finishes of note that I had written down here. Oh, Corey LaJoie. I had to shout him out. Another top 20 run. That team's underfunded, but they're making it work. I feel like that they have overachieved here the last couple of weeks. Obviously, they're not going to contend for a championship or anything, but just a little shout out there. And then Bubba Wallace, also a better run this week, finishing 14th. I thought that was a huge rebound for them after what happened at Coda. Is this a turning point? Like, can they build off of this now? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I was down on them because they've had equipment problems, and I didn't know if they would last the 600 laps. Come to find out, the 2 guys I actually did take, they just absolutely pooped the bed. So, I mean, apparently, what do I know? Maybe I should stop doing my DFS articles. I'm not stopping them. I need the viewers. You guys need to go read my articles. It's not the exact momentum like they needed, but it's some momentum going forward because they lasted 600 miles. So, maybe Bubba Wallace does something, not this week, because I don't think Bubba's not that good on road courses, as we saw 2 weeks ago, but going forward at the All-Star race, it could be. Maybe he races his way in.
Yeah, speaking of lasting 600 miles, I guess it wasn't technically 600 miles because he's many laps down, but Cody Ware earned his best career finish. Mike Joy shouted him out. I have to shout him out. I feel like it's our duty here on the Burnt Rubber Racing podcast, given that he is a weekly staple when we get to betting. Also, I had one
He's
other
a weekly staple? Okay,
He's a weekly staple. We're always we got props, we got odds to win. We cover Cody Ware better than probably any other NASCAR media outlet in the industry.
We give Cody Ware some love.
My last question to you about this race. What happened to Martin Truex? Did I miss something? Like, how does he wind up 29th? What went down there?
I think they said he had a hole in the nose, or maybe that was the week before. Okay. Something I want to say there's something mechanical or
because they weren't running well, right? But they were like in the low teens. And then all of a sudden I look at the finishing and he's 29th. Like, he was worse than Ryan Newman, who got into the wall there. Ryan Newman was running well, by the way. You're talking about RFR. He had a good run until that happened. So very well could have been a couple top 12s there for them. But it was just shocking to see Truex wound up that far down. I don't know. Another bit of a surprise, I guess you could say, although maybe we should just start getting used to this because, like we've said here on the show before, this kid is good. Ty Gibbs, another NASCAR Xfinity Series win. He takes I believe it was the Alsco 300 on Saturday afternoon.
Alsco uniforms.
Yeah, yep. So awesome to see all the Cup drivers doing the full broadcast. I thought they did a great job. It was entertaining, even if there were a lot of donut breaks, allegedly. But yeah, Ty Gibbs gets saved by the turf on the Charlotte Motor Speedway infield now. His car is saved at the end of stage 1, and he goes on to win this thing. Your thoughts, reactions, and then if you want to run through any of these other notes we got written down here, feel free.
Yeah, a spin and win. I mean, how about that? It's been a while since I think we've seen one of those, but I thought Daniel Hemrick had the car to beat. I was worried. I shouldn't say I was worried, but like I kind of want him to win because it's been a while since we've seen a backflip after a race. I miss Carl Edwards. I want to see one so bad, and that's Hemrick's signature move. And if he would have won, we would have seen it.
Yeah, he definitely was fast. He had to overcome backing up on pit road, and then they had a penalty on that pit stop to boot. Hemrick still drives back to the top 10, and then he gets taken out in one of a few big wrecks here toward the end of this race. So just a hard luck day for them after they won both stages. The other guy I had written down, the Dinger. It's his episode this week, episode 16. But AJ Allmendinger forced out of the race. That was one of the oddest mechanical glitches I've ever seen, like where the lug nut was loose and then got in. I don't know. Did you follow that or see quite exactly what happened? Because the way that car basically shut down on them and they had to pull out of the race, that was wild. Like, whatever happened up pit road.
No, I didn't see that. I was reading.
Okay.
I was reading the rundown, and I was like, "What is he talking about?"
Yeah, it was something where the lug nut came off and got into the brakes or something like that. I do not know what they were all talking about, and obviously when you got cars going by in the garage, you can hardly hear half the interview anyway. So, but yeah, tough run for Colleague, I thought, overall this week. But yeah, Dinger said he's going to kick some ass at Ohio on that road course this week. Got to love him, I think, whenever we're talking about a road course. Couple Cup drivers running in this one, finished top 10. Tyler Reddick gets 5th, Chase Briscoe 6th. Briscoe might have won this thing if not for Ty Gibbs pushing a little air on him. And other than the wrecks down the stretch, I mean, I thought this was an entertaining race the whole way through. Do you have anything else on Xfinity, or you want to jump to Trucks?
Well, I'll say what I can about Trucks. I was not able to watch the race because I had to work, and I meant to watch the race earlier this week, but it's been a busy week for me for many reasons, and yeah.
All right, thank you for that. So I guess I'm on an island here with the Trucks.
Yeah, you left me on an island before too, so I don't want to hear it.
I feel like it happens more to me. I don't know. We'll have to start keeping score. Anyway, John Hunter Nemechek does it again.
Yeah, I like that idea.
There it is. Great. Kyle Busch Motorsports stays perfect on the 1.5-mile ovals. They've won all but 4 NASCAR Truck Series races now this season as Nemechek gets the victory. Carson Hocevar, he finished runner-up. And really, second place run, that's nothing to be ashamed of for him, the young driver, 18 years old, and for Nice Motorsports. But he wanted more. That was very clear in his post-race interview. Zane Smith was another guy that I just thought was noteworthy, overcame a whole bunch of things, was running up front early, fell way back, manages to get a top 10 finish out of the deal. Rounding out the top 5 behind Nemechek and Hocevar were Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, and Todd Gilliland. The other KBM truck, Chandler Smith, there in 6th as well, so that was notable. And I mean, that Johnny Sauter wreck here coming down the stretch of this thing where I guess the spotter lost sight of the darker colored truck, and you'll have to forgive me, I cannot remember who it was that was slow.
There's a back marker, that's all you need to know. A back marker with a down tire, I think it was, or something like that. This is the one thing I did see. Why did NASCAR not throw a caution with a 40-mile-an-hour truck on the track, and you have guys coming that are going at least 170 miles an hour? Like, where's the sense in that? You're putting guys in danger, and this is why we got mad at you for COTA, because you put guys in dangerous situations when they could have been injured. And looking at Sauter's truck, it was bad and could have been a lot worse. And NASCAR lucked their way out again with this one.
Yeah, if you have not somehow didn't see the truck race or have not by now seen even just a picture of Johnny Sauter's truck after that wreck, I don't know if I have ever seen a car wreck all the way down on one side completely to just the skeleton. Like, the panel's entirely gone. The spotter said he lost sight of the truck. The only thing I can think of why NASCAR did not throw the yellow there is, did they lose sight of the truck too? I don't know how that happens.
Yeah,
but like they're saying, dark part of the track, tough to see.
He's up against the fence too, which I don't know what the hell you're doing there either.
Right, but he's also trying to come down. Like, he was starting to inch his way down to go onto pit road coming out of turn 4 there.
Was he past pit road by then? It looked like
I don't think so. I think he was still getting there. But just, yeah, massive wreck. Glad Johnny Sauter's okay, but crazy one for sure. That I've never seen a truck get just stripped down on one side completely like that. I guess you didn't watch the truck race, so you won't have much else. I'm not even going to bother asking you if you do, but you do have a few headlines around the racing world, including more silly season rumors. Rough day at Charlotte for Kurt Busch, but what do you got on him and the rest of the news this week, sir?
So I don't know how, but when last week when I was in RSN Trackside, one of the co-hosts of the show said that Kurt Busch would make a good fit at 2311 Racing. Guess who's rumored to go to 2311 Racing in an expanded car? That's right, Kurt Busch. I mean, this is out of left field to me. I would think, because Kurt Busch has been so good at Chip Ganassi, but the more I just watched a video last night about Kurt Busch going to 2311, it makes a lot of sense. 2311 needs an established driver to help out. Bubba's been in the center of controversy with that team. I shouldn't say that team, but he's been in the center of controversy ever since last year with the banning of the Confederate flag, the noose, and whatnot. And so,
choices he made, but yes, to your point.
Yeah, we're not getting into that. But
no.
What better driver to bring in than Kurt Busch when it comes to controversy? None. Kurt Busch has seen so much controversy in his 20 seasons in NASCAR that you can't tell me that there's been a more controversial driver in NASCAR since 2000.
I wouldn't say so.
Maybe Tony Stewart, only because of one scenario, which is bullshit. I will die in that freaking hill, and you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into the show. We're having good fun. But Kurt Busch could be in a number 32 Toyota. The only thing that might matter is Monster and Dr. Pepper. I don't know if Dr. Pepper will allow Monster to come with Kurt Busch going forward if they decide to do that. So that could be something to watch out for. And then the other news, SRX has a title sponsor, and it's one that is kind of surprising, but not really, because this guy's going all over the motorsports world. It is Marcus Lemonis's Camping World SRX series. I mean, I can't wait to watch the series June 12th on CBS and going forward for the 6 weeks.
There you go. I'll just add the other end of the string here with Kurt Busch is Chip Ganassi. Like, what are they going to do? They just had a brutal week. If Kurt Busch leaves in free agency, they have another ride opened up. This has not been a year up to their standards by any means.
I'll give you a guy off the air. How about that?
All right, there you go. I cannot wait. Must be too good for all of you to hear.
I don't want people thinking that I'm playing favoritism here, but
fair enough. All right. We're almost ready to dive into Sonoma here by the looks. Before we do that, the latest NASCAR Cup Series power rankings are now up over at flurrysports.org. Pen this column 3 weeks in a row now. Look at me go. Post-Charlotte rankings. Obviously, Kyle Larson is number one. Obviously, Hendrick Motorsports dominates. In fact, all 6 cars are in the top 6 of the rankings. Check it out over at flurrysports.org, along with all our other content written-wise in the NASCAR section, the little NASCAR section, as McAdoo likes to affectionately refer to it. We're not going to dive too far into these rankings. If you have major issues with where I rank people, like, feel free to reach out on Twitter or do your thing there. But I do need to ask Zach, just looking at the updated ones at the top or even further down, do you agree? Do you disagree? Who do you think I totally missed on? Like, feel free to rip me apart. Or just, don't hurt my feelings too bad.
The only thing
I have.
The only thing I can see is, I think after last week, Bowman needs to be in your top 5 and Martin Truex Jr. needs to not be, because Truex, yeah, he has 3 wins, but at the same time, a 29th place finish last week, the week before he didn't do well. It's just, at some point, 3 wins is not going to carry you to a championship, as we saw last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Harvick and Hamlin combined to win like 17 races, and neither one of them won the championship. It is a fair point. I'm giving the 19 one more week. It's not bias, I promise. If I'm biased on anyone at this point, I feel like it's William Byron. That guy's I cannot say enough about what he's doing.
Yeah, let's not bring this back up. I think there's no bias here at all.
Well, yeah, there you go. So get your argument right on out of here. Anyone further down the line?
You can't tell me that Bowman, after winning at Dover, I don't remember where he finished last week at COTA, but then a 5th place finish last week is not better than what Truex did. I tell you, Bowman has a better 3 weeks than Truex ever since Darlington. Am I wrong?
Bowman was 8th at COTA, but also you have to keep in mind, I didn't drop Truex after COTA because it wasn't his fault. Like, he was running great and got absolutely destroyed, and there was nothing he could do. Like, he got rear-ended.
It's still a finish that it's still a bad finish it's going to count under his belt. We're not going to remember what happened years from now. We're just going to remember that he finished 30th at COTA.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll make the switch next week. We'll have to see what Sonoma brings our way. That's a place Truax has been pretty good. Was there anyone further down the line that you liked, disliked? I felt like there was a lot of shuffling this week between, 15 and 25, 26, kind of in there. And I even moved Corey LaJoie over Eric Almirola way down at the bottom, because if we want to compare apples to oranges here for a second, what the number 7 Spire is doing is far better than what the number 10 Stuart Haas car is doing. So I went for it. I'll give him a spot this week. It probably won't last, but I had to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say that I like that move, and it's embarrassing to see SHR with the power that they have.
26, 27, and 29.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't realize this, but I think I know why NASCAR side of Haas is doing so bad. I think Haas is starting to put more money in the F1 because he's got Mick Schumacher and a guy. I'm not going to name his name because of what he did. You're laughing because you know what he did, but I'm not giving him the satisfaction. But I think they're trying to bring more. They're trying to bring better results on the F1 side, which absolutely stupid. I don't know why. These guys, one if not both of those guys are going to leave you within 1 or 2 years. Mick Schumacher is going to leave for Ferrari. I guarantee it. Mark my words. As of 1:40 on June 3rd, 2021, Mick Schumacher is not going to be a Haas driver for very long. And then Nikita Mazepin, yeah, I said his name. How long until he gets in trouble for what he did? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
I'm not commenting.
But but why take money over there when you're not winning? You're not going to win races over there at all.
No.
Even if you're not going to beat Mercedes, you're not going to beat Ferrari, you're not going to beat Red Bull, you're not going to beat the top three that is usually there. Why would you take money away from your winning team? You had 9 wins with Harvick last year. You had 4 drivers in the top 8 3 years ago. Why? It just makes no sense to me.
Well, literally all 4 teams made the postseason last year. Cole Custer won a race, so there was another winner in there along with Harvick. Eric Almirola had that incredible run of top 10s, almost William Byron-esque over the summer. So my question to you, is this something that's going to continue going forward, or are maybe they doing it this year because they know the next gen is coming? So are we punting on the last year of Gen 6? And I mean, looking at what Hendrick is doing, and Joe Gibbs is, I think, clearly number 2 right now in terms of teams, right? Is it just, kind of whatever?
If that is what they're doing, you better make sure you're winning that championship next year. You better make sure that 4 car, that 10 car, that 14 car, or that 41 is lifting that trophy at the end of the year. If you're punting on this year, banking on the fact, I'll extend it. You better make sure you win within 2 years. You're throwing away a season. You're throwing away this season for why?
And I'm not saying they are. Or I'm not saying that's what's going on. I'm just raising, is it a possibility?
I understand that, but it seems so stupid if that's what they're doing.
I mean, I completely agree with you, but it's not our decisions to make. That's why we just talk about it. So yeah, go check out the NASCAR Power Rankings to wrap up our SHR rant and a little Formula One there from McAdoo as well. Shall we head out west to Sonoma, sir? Are you ready?
Let's get me pissed off even more.
Let's go. We're back to road course racing this week. Sonoma Raceway and the Toyota Save Mart 350, as it is known. You want to start us off with some track details there on this 12-turn road course?
Sears Point Raceway opened in 1968 in Sonoma, California, in the middle of wine country. So that's why every race winner gets a goblet of wine, not even just a little glass. They get a whole goblet of wine in Victory Lane. The NASCAR didn't start racing there until 1989. They have raced there every year since that year, except last year because of COVID-19. In 2002, the track name changed to Infineon Raceway until 2012 when Infineon did not want to re-up their sponsorship. So that is when Sonoma Raceway earned their name Sonoma Raceway. And from 1998 to 2018, they raced a different circuit that did not include the carousel. 2019, they brought back the carousel, and that is where they are racing again.
Yep, we've got the full length track for this year's race, just as we did the last time they were here, which, like Zach said, was 2 years ago. The Sonoma race was moved to Charlotte Motor Speedway last year, where we just got done racing here this past weekend, because California sucks. But the wine country is nice, so it'll be good to get them back out there. The Cup cars are the only ones driving there. The Xfinity Series is at Mid-Ohio this week, and then the trucks are off, so it is a one-off. The Cup Series heading out west, and It should be a good one. Sonoma has produced its fair share of exciting races here in the past. Martin Truex Jr., speaking of him, has won the last two times NASCAR has visited Sonoma Raceway back in 2018 and 2019. Add in a win in 2013, and he has got 3 victories here at this course. In terms of average finish, we can look at some driver stats here quick before we jump into more on the DFS and betting sides. So it's actually Kevin Harvick who has the best average finish over the last 10 races, not Truex, despite his 3 wins and 4 top 5s. Harvick, I mean, you're looking at 8 top 10s, a 16th and a 20th are the only other 2 in the last 5. So it'd be 2015 through 19. You've got 3 top 5s and 2 sixth place finishes. 7.7 average finish. Kurt Busch, average finish of an even 9. He won here back in 2011. And then Eric Jones. There's only been 3 races, 2017 through 19, but 7th and an 8th in the last 2. Now, those were in Joe Gibbs equipment. He is now with Richard Petty Motorsports, but he checks in with the 3rd best average finish among active drivers, followed by Joey Logano and Kyle Busch, who won here in 2015. Any thoughts on those stats? Anyone else you're curious on here? I have the whole list in front of me this week. I came prepared. Just for the record, I should throw him out here since we're talking about him. Winning the last 2, Martin Truex over the last 10, average finish of 17.4. That is with 3 wins, a 4th top 5, and he also had an 8th place run, but some very poor runs, 3 of them in there as well. Anyone else you're curious?
No, we'll just roll the punches here.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan. In terms of maybe just a little more to get us set track-wise, so unlike other road course venues that NASCAR runs at, Sonoma is not as demanding in terms of braking going into turns. It consists of, more sweeping and bending type of turns. And so this puts more focus on actual car setup and then handling compared to, say, the Daytona road course, or I guess Circuit of the Americas would be one with very sharp turns that required a lot of braking and downshifting into first gear at various points in the track. And I'm not going to rant on Circuit of the Americas anymore because I did that last week. I guess that's all I had. DFS, should we jump there? What are we liking? I'm so prepared this week. I have the DFS prices pulled up on my computer. I can look at them with you. It's a road course race, so shocking to see Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. priced the highest. But I feel like we got to be rolling with one of them this week. What say you? What are we doing? Kick us off.
I mean, if you're going to roll with one, I think you got to roll Truex. I mean, like you said, he's the winner here the last 2 times. He's starting 19th, so I believe he'll get to the front before too long here. And then, like you said, Kevin Harvick, he's got the best average finish here of all the drivers. So why not pick him? I mean, he's going to get
you almost a bit surprising to you.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, if you look back, he won the race in 2017. He was leading in 2018 due to pit strategy. He lost to Truex, which, but it kind of is, but at the same time, it's not, because I believe that also that average finish also adds in his wreck in 2014 too. So
yes, it would. Yep. So you like Kevin Harvick there as well. What was he priced at?
10,500. And then my value pick.
Oh boy.
I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez. I believe the 99. I like what Trackhouse is doing. I like Daniel Suarez on the road courses. He's 6,500, which is cheap in my opinion for him. Watching 99 this week.
Love it. My initial value lean, I guess, would have been Michael McDowell. Without
I have him there too.
He's up at $8,000 though, so it's almost not as much of a value play as you definitely most weeks would get on McDowell, right? But FanDuel adjusting, just given that for his skill on the road courses. So interesting to see that there. I'm almost I almost want to say I'm surprised that you went with Truex over Elliott, just given what Hendrick's been doing lately. But I, I can't disagree with it. Right, when he's going to make up spots, we already know that. As long as Cole Custer doesn't rear end him or something as he's coming through the field, starting further back, it should be a solid run there and opportunity to make up more points. In terms of laps, though, I wonder if Elliott would get him there starting on the front row. Guys we're looking to avoid this week, what do you have for us there? I'm going to give you two. Who are we just avoiding altogether because we don't want anything to do with them at Sonoma? And among the higher priced guys, who is too high? They're a stud most weeks, but this week it's not an option for you.
If not for Coda, I would say Kyle Larson, but I don't know. Kyle Larson's been doing great the past couple of weeks. I'm going to say,
is there an option? There doesn't have to be.
If I have to choose one, he's not priced high, but Kurt Busch is a guy I can't because I don't. Chip Ganassi, they gave us smoke and mirrors last week. I want to see something. I want to see that mirror go away before I should pick him going forward.
Could not agree with you more. I don't even want anything to do with Ross Chastain this week, and that's saying something. I feel like the way I talk him up. Chip Ganassi, sorry. Prove me wrong, and I might be back on next week in a limited capacity, shall we say. Anything else you had for DFS? We ready to look at some odds to win this Toyota Save Mart 350?
Let's get into it.
Chase Elliott's your favorite. Big shocker there, plus 225. But I will say, Martin Truex Jr. at 4-1. How can you not love that value right there on a guy who is right up there with Elliott in terms of road courses? And, oh, by the way, he's won the last two races at this specific road course. That sticks out to me right off the top, not going to lie. Then we got Kyle Busch at 7-1 and Kyle Larson 8-1 and Denny Hamlin 10-1. Everyone else is 14-1 or longer. So those are your top five. I think you have a clear favorite and a clear co-favorite, obviously, in Elliott and Truex. What are your thoughts on those top five in terms of betting odds to win?
I think you got to lean towards Truex. Well, I shouldn't say you shouldn't lean, but I like Truex too much. Yes, Hendrick's on fire, and Elliott knows how to do a road course, but I like the history there. I like the history of Truex.
And the 4-1, right? I mean, I feel like it's almost splitting hairs between these two whenever we're talking about a road course. And yes, Truex has started further back. It's not going to be as big of an issue as some people might try to say.
No, Truex leaves the bumper.
I'm going to let that one slide. 4-1 versus plus 225. I would take that to win easily. Truex over Elliott. And, oh, by the way, McAdoo won't bet this one, but a top three finish for Truex, top three plus 110. You can get plus money on Truex top three. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. William Byron is 14-1 as we jump into this next tier of drivers to win the race. Joey Logano 16-1. Kevin Harvick, that average finish we mentioned, 18-1. Ryan Blaney 20-1. Alex Bowman 22-1. And then we've got Christopher Bell and Brad Keselowski a little further down at 30-1. Anyone you'd take a shot on there, or would you like to hear a few more names?
Stop me if you heard this one before. Kevin Harvick. I mean,
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's 22-1, 18-1. Which one?
He was 18-1. And let me remind you, average finish the last 10 races at Sonoma, 7.7.
And he knows how to win here. He showed that. Yeah, in the stage racing era. So look out. I mean, it's not out of the question he could get a win here.
Like it a lot. In terms of long shot potential dart throws, 50-1 odds or longer. Tyler Reddick kicks us off at 50-1. Then there's Kurt Busch, 66-1, along with Michael McDowell, Chase Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, and Matt DiBenedetto are all 80-1. Cole Custer and Daniel Suarez each 100 to 1. Austin Dillon is 150 to 1. And then I included him because he's also joined there by Eric Jones, and we talked about him with average finishes. Eric Jones also 150 to 1. Who are you dropping $1 and what is it? $1 and a dream?
Yeah, $1 and a dream.
Yeah, who's that play for you this week?
I think it's got to be Suarez. I think Trackhouse performed well at Daytona. I don't remember where they finished at Coda, but I mean, Suarez is a great road racer. Trackhouse is doing amazing things over there, and how can you not? I mean, $1 and a dream. We always say, I always say, but it's there.
Hey, you like Suarez for DFS? You like him for betting? Why not? He was 33rd at Coda, but remember they had the engine difficulties there, I believe it was, earlier in the race. So just the fact that they were able to get back out there was almost a win in it of its own. I'm looking at some top 10 odds. Kevin Harvick's minus 150. I really like that, even though there is a little juice attached. Michael McDowell's 2 to 1 to finish top 10 in this race. I think I can get behind that. And then we're talking about Daniel Suarez. Why not? Plus 275 for a top 10. So not bad odds there either. We can jump over to some driver props. We got to start with the groups today. We're going to switch it up, and then we'll do head-to-heads. I know Zach wants Group F. Is there anything else I could throw at him first? Let me look.
You know me so well.
Yeah, you know, this one. All right, Group D. Chris Buescher's group favorite, plus 245. Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, Matt DiBenedetto are all plus 255. And I know the Penske camp has been struggling. I know Chris Buescher's been doing very well. I know Matt DiBenedetto is a Penske affiliate with the Wood Brothers, and they have been very mediocre / struggling the last few weeks. Matt DiBenedetto knows how to get around a road course. I kind of like him in Group D. I don't want anything to do with Chip Ganassi. We already talked about that. And Chase Briscoe and Stuart Haas, that is what it is right now, you know? So I don't know. Am I crazy? Or are we riding hot hand here with Buescher?
I think you got to ride the hot hand. I mean, okay. We've talked a lot about Buescher here on the show, and so how can you not continue with RFR going forward?
Yeah, Buescher is really making a statement there. Got that long-term deal, and he's cooking with gas. Another top 10. I can totally see both sides. I think that is a two-man race there. Maybe bet them both at those odds, and you won't win as much, but you could win something there. All right, Group F, Eric Jones plus 185 is a decisive favorite, actually. Ryan Newman is plus 265, and then we've got this week Ryan Preece in Group F plus 290. Bubba Wallace at those same plus 290 odds. This is your group, sir. What do you got?
All right, hold on. Say it again just so I have it like.
Group F, Eric Jones plus 185, Ryan Newman plus 265, Ryan Preece plus 290, Bubba Wallace plus 290.
I kind of want to go Preece. I feel like JTG Doherty's making some strides, and I don't have faith in Jones or Newman, and Bubba. I think it's gonna be between Bubba and Preece there.
Yeah, I'm not really high on Bubba as a road course guy, I don't really think. Coda, I'm just looking here quick. Ryan Preece, 15th. Eric Jones, 16th. Of course, Bubba Wallace wrecked out of that race. And who was the last one? Now I'm blanking. Ryan Newman, 24th. Preece would have won this group of Coda. Not a bad play. And he's plus 290 there, tied for the longest odds in it. Over to race matchups, we'll look at a couple of these real quick. I mean, Martin Truex Jr. is plus 125 in a head-to-head against Chase Elliott. I think that's a yes, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to hedge your bet and pick the other one, I'd stay with Truex.
Yeah, maybe, honestly, the way I would hedge probably is if you're betting Chase Elliott to win the race outright as the favorite at plus 225, you can get Truax plus 125 in a head-to-head probably would be the best hedge option there, as opposed to hedging by laying juice in a head-to-head with Chase Elliott if you're betting Truax to win. Let's see here. That is the only. No, we got two other guys with plus even money odds. They are. So Kurt Busch is even money in a head-to-head against Tyler Reddick at minus 134, and we have the same price as William Byron even money against Denny Hamlin minus 134. I guess we can roll with those. Thoughts on those? Would you take the plus 100 odds?
Yeah, I agree with you, full 100%.
All right, and then I like Daniel Suarez a lot. I know you've already talked about him, but minus 115 head-to-head against Cole Custer. I will take that all day.
Yeah, I don't trust Cole Custer on the road courses, so I mean, I wouldn't take him here.
Absolutely. They do not have the team odds up again at the time we are recording this week, so you'll have to check back in with DraftKings is where we're referencing for those. They do have manufacturer of the winning car. Chevy's plus 110, Toyota plus 155, Ford plus 350. I don't know that I really am looking to bet a manufacturer at one of those prices, just given the odds I can get on some of the favorites in those cars. Talking about Elliott for Chevy, Truex for Toyota, and I mean, hey, Kevin Harvick 18-1 to win in a Ford. I would much rather bet that than plus 350.
Yeah,
I think that's all we got. Was there anything else that you had for the Toyota Save Mart 350?
No, I'm just looking forward to the end of this race because I'm not big on Sonoma. Hopefully, it proves me wrong though.
I will take Sonoma over Circuit of the Americas with stock cars. Let me be specific. Any day of the week. I'm kind of excited to see them go back out there. And I said I'm not going to try and shit on Circuit of the Americas too much, so we'll stop.
Yeah, you don't know Circuit of the Americas. You don't play Xbox.
No, I don't, and I probably never will. At any rate, I think that takes us to the end of episode 16. Was there anything else you had, just in terms of racing news and anything? Did we forget?
Let me I'll do the closing here. How about that? Like I usually do. Okay.
That works.
Because I know you like when I clap. But anyways,
there's the clap.
Yeah,
there it is.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, wherever the hell you listen to us at. We're also on YouTube and maybe Twitch. And every time we're on here, it seems like we get a Twitch message. So who the hell knows?
That off this week.
Why?
We're not getting spammed in the chat this week. So.
I like in the messages.
Yeah.
But anyways, follow him. You switched this up now, so I have to point the other way. Follow him at Hangtime Sports. Follow me at GT McAdoo. Follow the show at Burnt Rub Racing. Right? Is that Burnt Rubber?
Yeah.
Yeah, Burnt Rub Racing on Twitter. Freesports.org, you'll find our articles. I will have my track overview done eventually. It's been a long week, like I said many times in this podcast. He has his power rankings up. I keep pointing the wrong goddamn way. But we have our own little section for NASCAR stuff. Go read my recaps of both the Coke 600 and the Indy 500 because yes, I called the goddamn race. I'm not going to let that go because that was amazing. And before I forget, I will be taking a part of the Trainwreck Sports Home Run Derby on Saturday, June 5th at 8 o'clock. I will be having my own stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/McAdoo016. Why there's a 0 there is because someone took McAdoo 16. I am very mad about that. And the fact that I think of McAdoo 316, I'm mad. But come watch me kick ass with Mike Trout, Cattell Marte, and then Fernando Tatis Jr. I'll let you finish it out.
And what did that have to do with racing?
I had to promote me. It promotes me.
Okay, so we're just going to change the title here to the ZT McAdoo on Twitch.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. IndyCar no race this week. They'll be back in Detroit next week. I did forget to mention that. Sorry, it's been a little rusty. I haven't hosted in a couple of weeks. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. again, I'm going to feel the brunt of that when I try and chop this up later, so that'll be fun. I mean, I feel like Zach left nothing else to be said there with that closing. So with that, this has been episode 16 of Burnt Rubber Racing. We will talk to you next week.